Welcome to part 59 of the Unsolved Mysteries Iceberg, where we explore true crime, urban legends, mysterious disappearances, myths and legends, internet mysteries, and more. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. The Phantom Time Conspiracy Theory. The Phantom Time Conspiracy Theory is a controversial hypothesis proposed by German historian Heribert Illig in 1991. Illig claimed that approximately 297 years of history, specifically the period between 614 and 911 AD, were fabricated. According to this theory, the Gregorian calendar was manipulated by Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII. The purpose of this was to falsely place Otto's reign around the auspicious year 1000 AD. Illig's motivation stemmed from his skepticism towards historical records, believing that significant gaps and inaccuracies existed in the chronology of medieval Europe. He theorized that this period was invented to strengthen the political and religious power of the involved rulers. By creating a fabricated historical timeline, these leaders could consolidate their positions, align significant events with religious narratives, and bolster their legitimacy. Illig's primary claims include the fabrication of events and figures, such as the legendary Emperor Charlemagne, who he argued never existed. He suggested the introduction of falsified documents and the planting of fake archaeological evidence to support the invented timeline. Additionally, Illig pointed to discrepancies between the Julian and Gregorian calendars, suggesting the latter's adjustments concealed the added phantom years. Illig and his supporters point to several pieces of evidence they believe support their claims, including a lack of archaeological and historical records from the alleged phantom period. However, the phantom time hypothesis has faced substantial criticism from historians and scientists. Major counter-arguments include extensive historical records from other regions and empires that align with the conventional timeline and contradict the notion of missing years. Astronomical data, such as solar eclipses and the appearances of Halley's Comet, have been accurately dated and do not support the existence of phantom years. Furthermore, archaeological dating methods, including radiocarbon dating and dendrochronology, have provided consistent timelines unaffected by phantom time. If the phantom time hypothesis were true, it would imply that significant historical events, including the Muslim conquest of Spain and the Viking raids on England, never occurred. This would require a massive and highly coordinated effort across multiple civilizations, which most scholars find exceedingly unlikely. Additionally, it would mean re-evaluating a substantial portion of medieval history and the legitimacy of many historical figures and events. The phantom time conspiracy theory remains completely discredited within the academic community. The vast body of evidence from various fields of study, including history, archaeology, and astronomy, supports the conventional timeline of historical events. The disappearance of Brianna Maitland. Brianna Maitland was a 17-year-old from Montgomery, Vermont, who went missing on March 19, 2004, after leaving her job at the Black Lantern Inn. Brianna had what could only be classified as a tumultuous teenage life. She moved out of her family home to live with friends, dropped out of high school, and was working 2 jobs while studying for her GED. On the day of her disappearance, she successfully passed her GED test, celebrated with her mother, and went to her evening shift at the Black Lantern Inn. She declined a coworker's invitation to dinner, stating she needed to rest for her second job the next morning. Brianna was last seen driving off alone around 11:20 that evening. Brianna's 1985 Oldsmobile was found the next day, backed into an old abandoned farmhouse about a mile from her workplace. The scene was odd. The car's rear end had crashed into the building, and a piece of plywood lay on the trunk. Inside the car were Brianna's uncashed paychecks, her driver's license, contact lenses, medication, and other personal items. Outside, police found loose change, a water bottle, and an unsmoked cigarette. Initially, the car was assumed to be abandoned by a drunk driver, but when Brianna was reported missing days later, the connection was made. Several witnesses reported seeing the car at different times on the night of her disappearance, but none saw anyone in or around the vehicle. The initial police investigation considered the possibility that Brianna was a runaway, partly due to her recent move and independent lifestyle. However, her parents and friends quickly dismissed this theory, given her positive mood and future plans. One theory posits that Brianna was taken by strangers who might have been waiting for her. This theory is supported by the strange arrangement of her car and the items left at the scene. Another theory suggests involvement by people she knew. 3 weeks before her disappearance, Brianna was attacked by a former friend, who was later cleared of involvement. Some speculated Brianna might have been involved in drug activity, either as a user or due to associations with local dealers. This theory gained traction when an anonymous tip suggested she was being held by drug dealers, but subsequent police raids found no evidence supporting this. Over the years, the case has remained active, with authorities occasionally revisiting old leads and following up on new ones. DNA evidence was collected, but no definitive conclusions have been drawn from it so far. The slaying of Jill Dando. On April 26, 1999, BBC journalist Jill Dando was found lifeless outside her home in Fulham, London. Jill Dando was a beloved television presenter, known for her work on BBC's Breakfast Time, Breakfast News, Crime Watch, and several other programs. She was named BBC Personality of the Year in 1997 and was engaged to Alan Farthing, a successful physician, at the time of her passing. On the morning of the incident, she returned to her house in Fulham, which she was planning to sell, and was discovered shortly after being attacked. The Metropolitan Police's investigation, codenamed Operation Oxborough, became one of the most extensive in British history. Over 2,500 people were interviewed, and more than 1,000 statements were taken, yet the mystery persisted. One significant suspect was Barry George, a local man with a history of mental health issues and prior convictions for attempted SA and other crimes. George was arrested nearly a year after Dando's death. Evidence included a particle of firearm residue found in his coat pocket and several copies of a magazine memorializing Dando found in his apartment. He was convicted in 2001 but was acquitted after a retrial in 2008 due to doubts about the forensic evidence and his capability to execute such a crime. Another prominent theory suggests that Dando was targeted by a Serbian professional in retaliation for her involvement in a BBC appeal for Kosovo, aired shortly before the incident. This theory gained traction due to the method of the attack, which seemed to mimic professional tactics, such as using a firearm in a manner that minimized noise. Witnesses and facial recognition experts pointed to similarities between a suspect caught on CCTV and Milorad Almec, a Serbian pro currently serving a prison sentence. Additionally, there were speculations about her work on Crime Watch, which often featured serious crimes and criminals. It was proposed that she might have been targeted by someone featured on the show or connected to those she investigated. A more controversial theory emerged posthumously, suggesting that Dando had been investigating a high-profile ring of wealthy elites who engaged in Epstein-like activities. However, no direct evidence was ever found to support this claim, and it remains a topic of conjecture. The complexity of the case is heightened by conflicting eyewitness accounts and the fact that no clear motive has been established. One witness described seeing a tall man walking away from Dando's home shortly after the attack, while others reported a suspicious vehicle in the area. Despite numerous theories and extensive media coverage, the question of who was responsible for Jill Dando's demise remains unanswered. The Metropolitan Police have stated that the investigation is currently in an inactive phase, meaning it is not subject to routine reviews, but is not closed either. Also, quick shout out, this case was a suggestion by YouTube commenter Visual Tedium. Remember to either join the Discord to leave suggestions or to leave a comment below. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, located in Midlothian, Illinois, is widely regarded as one of the most haunted cemeteries in the United States. The cemetery dates back to the 1830s, when it was established by English settlers from New England. Initially, it served the small community that settled there, including notable early settler Stephen Rexford. The first documented burial was that of Eliza Scott in 1844, although some records suggest William B. Nobles was buried there as early as 1838. Over the years, the cemetery saw numerous burials, with the last known one being Robert Shields in 1989. Bachelor's Grove has garnered a reputation for its paranormal activity, with numerous reports of ghostly apparitions and strange phenomena. The cemetery's remote location, bordered by the Rubio Woods Forest Preserve, adds to its isolated and mysterious atmosphere. One of the earliest reports involves a phantom farmhouse that appears and disappears as visitors approach it. This spectral building has been a staple in the ghost stories surrounding Bachelor's Grove. Among the most famous is the Madonna of Bachelor's Grove, or the White Lady, often seen carrying an infant or wandering the cemetery aimlessly. This apparition gained significant attention after a photograph taken in 1991 by the Ghost Research Society appeared to capture her image sitting on a stone. Another common sighting is the ghost of a farmer and his horse, believed to have drowned in a nearby pond in the 1870s. Visitors have reported seeing the farmer and his plow emerging from the water, only to vanish moments later. Numerous theories attempt to explain the hauntings at Bachelor's Grove. Some suggest that the cemetery is located on ley lines, which are believed to be paths of spiritual energy. Others attribute the activity to the desecration and vandalism that occurred during the 1960s and 1970s, when the cemetery became a hotspot for occult rituals and teenage gatherings. The combination of these factors might have contributed to the heightened paranormal activity reported there. Visitors have shared a variety of personal experiences at Bachelor's Grove. Some describe peaceful encounters, such as seeing glowing orbs or feeling a sense of calm. Others recount more unsettling experiences, including verbal interactions with spirits or seeing ghostly figures that vanish upon approach. The diversity of these experiences adds to the cemetery's eerie reputation. This was a suggestion by community member BK138GT6. Lion City of Qiandao Lake. Nestled beneath the serene waters of Qiandao Lake in China's Zhejiang province lies the ancient city of Shi Cheng, also known as Lion City. Shi Cheng was established during the Eastern Han Dynasty, which ran until the late 2nd century AD, and was named after a nearby feature known as Five Lion Mountain. The city thrived for centuries, reaching its peak during the Tang and Ming dynasties, serving as a significant cultural and economic hub. In 1959, the Chinese government decided to construct a hydroelectric dam on the Shinan River, necessitating the creation of a man-made lake. This decision led to the submersion of Shi Cheng, placing it beneath approximately 80 to 130 feet of water. The flooding project resulted in the displacement of around 300,000 residents. The city remained hidden underwater for over 50 years, until it was rediscovered by divers in 2001. Initial explorations revealed that the city was remarkably well preserved, protected from the elements by its aquatic surroundings. The discovery sparked renewed interest in the site, both for its historical significance and its potential as a diving attraction. One of the most captivating aspects of Shi Cheng is its architectural integrity. The city features 5 entrance gates, a rare deviation from the traditional 4, each adorned with intricate stone carvings and statues. These structures date back to the Ming and Qing dynasties and include well-preserved temples, arches, and even wooden beams. The underwater city is an elaborate maze of 265 archways and numerous stone carvings, which narrate the city's historical and cultural tales. The preservation of these details, despite being submerged, offers a unique glimpse into ancient Chinese architecture and urban planning. The circumstances surrounding the intentional flooding of Shi Cheng have led to various theories and speculations. Some view the decision as a necessary step for modernization and industrialization as part of China's push during the mid-20th century. This theory highlights the prioritization of economic development and energy needs over the preservation of historical sites. Some historians suggest that submerging Shi Cheng inadvertently helped preserve its architectural integrity. By being underwater, the city has been protected from weathering, human interference, and other forms of degradation that typically affect ancient ruins. The city's submersion has inadvertently turned it into a time capsule. Today, Shi Cheng has become a popular site for divers and tourists as they can explore the city gates, statues, and other structures that would have been lost to time. The extinction of the quagga. The quagga, a now extinct subspecies of the plains zebra, roamed the grasslands of South Africa until the late 19th century. The quagga exhibited a unique appearance. It had vivid stripes on the front half of its body, fading into a plain brown on the rear. This distinctive pattern set it apart from other zebras, which are typically fully striped. The quagga thrived in arid to temperate grasslands, where it formed large, sociable herds. These herds, consisting of family units, were highly territorial, yet undertook seasonal migrations in search of fresh grazing grounds. Quaggas were herbivores, primarily feeding on grasses, and their social structure included a dominant male overseeing a group of females and offspring. The primary drivers of the quagga's extinction were human activities. European settlers in South Africa extensively hunted quaggas for their meat and hides. Farmers also viewed quaggas as competitors for grazing land with their livestock. This large-scale hunting, combined with habitat loss due to expanding agricultural activities, drastically reduced quagga populations. Additionally, diseases transmitted from domesticated animals further weakened their numbers. By the 1870s, quaggas had disappeared from the wild, with the last known wild individual killed around this time. The final blow came when the last captive quagga, a female, died in Amsterdam Zoo on August 12, 1883. Despite requests from zoos to acquire more quaggas, none were left in the wild to capture, and this marked the quagga's complete extinction. Some claim that the quagga did not go extinct in 1883, but that populations of the creatures existed in isolated patches long after. There are records of sightings in southern Africa up until the early 20th century. However, these sightings may be more adequately explained by adventurers seeking funding to find quaggas for zoos. In 1987, an initiative known as the Quagga Project was launched in South Africa. Spearheaded by taxidermist Reinhold Rau, this project aimed to bring back quagga-like zebras through selective breeding. By mating zebras that exhibited reduced striping, The project sought to recreate the quagga's unique appearance. Over several generations, the project has produced animals that closely resemble the extinct quagga, although they are genetically plains zebras. These efforts have sparked debates about the authenticity and ethics of such de-extinction projects. Jimmy here. Hope you've enjoyed part 59 of this ever-expanding Unsolved Mysteries Iceberg series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. This really helps my channel grow and allows me to dedicate substantial time and effort to producing content. Check out the Spotify and Apple Music link in the description, and follow my channel for relaxing lo-fi beats. Make sure to check out the YouTube membership and Patreon. You can support my channel for as little as 99 cents a month. Shout out to my patrons Noah Schubert, Iced Mocha, Kurt the Squirt, Monoxide Wendigo, Jeffer Metcalf, Z-Volts, Director Delta, Unknown Delusions, Faye, Jack Russell, Boomslang, Spookiest Becky, Vespertine, Metanova, Will Rowan, Crab Nebula, and Blasphemous. Big shout out to YouTube member Jordan All,